Okay. Yeah, I know.
It's recording.
All right. Hello, this is going to be a brief chapter leaders meeting, but I am showing Tanera and Jonathan and Sarah the gripper hand that was developed in our lab in Rochester, New York. As you can see, it's a fairly natural looking hand. Um, it has one moving part, which is a spring-loaded thumb, and it has a standard prosthetic bolt for connecting to a standard prosthetic socket. But the thing about it is that it's really simple and solid, and it will hold on to things by itself. So it's a passive gripper. It's like a prehensor, but it's a hand-shaped prehensor, and it's got quite a good grip. And
Yeah.
increasingly, I'm thinking it's used heavily by e-NABLE Thailand. They picked it up, but for some reason it hasn't been adopted elsewhere. And yet, for many people, especially in rural or work environments, I think this may be the right device. It's very solid. It's got only one piece. It's not likely to break, and it doesn't require that you keep your arm bent if you want to grip.
Yeah.
So I call it to your attention. I'm going to be promoting this when I go to Uganda, if I go to Uganda. And, for obviously for people with partial hands, it's not a solution. But for people with, um, forearm, I think this is probably the right solution, even though typically the unlimited arm has been the solution for that kind of a case. I wish I knew of a simple adaptable socket. And in Thailand, they have developed something interesting. And Tainara, I'm going to send you some links to all of this stuff. And Sarah, I'll send it to all of us. But I really think it's worth reviving the consideration of the gripper hand. The Thai socket is made of flexible material, and it bolts onto here. And then there are four wings that extend sideways, and you can fold them down. And so now you've got like four legs of a stool that you can put around the forearm. And then with Velcro, you can tighten them up. So this is obviously assuming your arm ends at the wrist. That is a nice solution for attaching a hand to a forearm. And this would require very little customization, obviously. And there's the rubber band here, which the green thing that you can see is very strong rubber. It's actually a band that's used in farms for castrating cows and pigs, called the castration band. So it's very strong.
Yeah.
And it's attached here just by a zip tie.
Oh, yeah.
So this is really designed to be really simple. There's also a motorized version, but I'm really aiming for simple, robust, and solid. Obviously, it can be done in multiple colors and skin tones, but that's the story.
And the black part, what is it?
That's just a grippy material that we glued on there. It's
Okay,
a
but
rubber.
it's a
It's a
EVA, it's a
no. It's a rubber film that you can glue on that just improves the grip.
okay. Yeah, that's very nice.
There's a group that's going to we met with them, An Kwan and Rion, and the group from Saratoga, California, are working with this group in Uganda, the World Action Fund, and they're looking at the gripper hand now, and they're experimenting, I think, with covering it with silicone, which is an interesting way of making it a little smoother, a little softer, and much grippier, and might also be a way of putting the right skin tone on any device you are working on. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting story, and I've found the links. There have been a few improvements on the internet, and I will send them. I think people should be thinking about these. And of course, this is an example of something that could be printed in bulk by our members and sent to a central location, because they don't, I think if you had a small, medium, and a large, and a left and a right, you could
Yeah.
have a stockpile and then ship a lot of them to a place that could use them.
And the idea is change the hand. If this hand it's a man hand or it's a girl hand or don't have this, this will be
No, this is a sexless hand, but you're right. You could indeed work on variations. This is something Skip Metz developed about 8 years ago when he was in Rochester with me, um, and it's a great piece of work. It was done in a Tinkercad of all things, and so it's it's made of fairly rough 3D modeling shapes. It could easily be reverse engineered for all sorts of variations, but it's a good piece of work, and it really deserves to be more widely used. So that's my contribution for today. And
very nice, very nice. I like it.
uh, and maybe I'll take one to Uganda with me, and maybe my trip will be uh, delayed. But I do suggest that you take a look, Tainara, at the work of wafuganda.org. I'll put the link in the chat. They are working with several hospitals there, and they do it came together. They do disability work, but also environmental projects. And so it's an interesting convergence of both of my reasons for going to Uganda. And they've got good partnerships, and they claim to have a list of 100 candidates. So I'm thinking they're really worth investing some time and support in. So their website is like this. And
Okay.
yeah, I think you'll be hearing more about them because I'm trying to organize some financial and technical support for them. Is all going well on the hub, Jonathan and Sarah?
Yeah, I got a quick question on your gripper hand, John.
Oh, sure.
Are those files hosted anywhere that people can
Yes.
access?
Oh, absolutely. They're in the enabled device directory, but I am going to just put the relevant links into the chat in a moment, because there are the socket because I brought them together. So give me 1 second. Click, click, click.
I was recently looking at Open Bionics released a modular, like a terminal device for the end of a wrist. I was
Really?
recently looking at that within the last couple weeks.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah, here, I'll put a request to share my screen.
Sure.
Let's see the screen. Can you see that?
Yes.
So here is one of the what brought to mind when you were showing your gripper hand.
Yeah.
They had kind of a modular device here where they actually recommend Lego pieces
Yeah.
to make things. So I was kind of curious. I have a local case here that I might be working on with a girl with a above the wrist um, deformity that something like this might work on. But I was looking a little bit closer on what's available for the actual mating part, and I came across their
Exactly.
Hero Flex line. So that was very similar to your gripper hand that you had.
Right. We need a flexible socket of this sort. I'm glad they're sort of validating the concept. But that's great. That's great. That's new to me. I am looking for a few more links about this. Give me a second. All right, I'm sorry. I will follow up. And that's all I got for now. So Open Bionics is now releasing. Ooh, I love the look of that.
Yeah, it's kind of
But
cool looking at it a little bit closer. It looks like they actually have like a cord that tensions
right.
through the arm, and then like a rotary tension.
Is that open source?
I don't know if it is or not.
I think Open Bionics it's not.
Yeah, but the terminal adapter that he showed us was on printables, which suggests that that part is open source at least.
Yeah.
Remix allowed. So maybe when you go to printables, what else are they offering on printables? Uh, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, they might be just, it looks like all of their stuff has been just in the last couple weeks, so maybe they're a new profile. Maybe they just
Interesting.
haven't uploaded much.
But there was something there. Will you go back and scroll? Here we go. Pause. So that, oh, interesting. Oh, I see. This is not just them. So the only thing they're offering is this thing and the Lego. Okay, now we know. Cool. Now, this, thinking about the gripper hand, thinking about the needs in Uganda, um, I find myself thinking that it might be time to push for a really narrow range of really robust solutions that we can and figure out how to really make them available. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to follow through on that, but that's where I'm at. And I'll keep you posted. Hello, Yakov. Yakov, I'm John Shull, co-founder of this so-called organization. Tainara, Jonathan, and Sarah are regulars in keeping e-NABLE running, and this is the chapter leaders meeting. Perhaps you would introduce yourself. You're not on mute, but we don't hear you. I'm typing, can you say hello, Yakov? Okay. What other topics might we have? All right, maybe Yakov is inching along. Something tells me he is either in San Francisco or likes San Francisco. Okay. Well, in other current events, may I just say that I'm noticing that people all over the world and in this country are being disrupted by um, the what's going on with Trump and the White House. Has it had any impact with you, Tanara?
Do you want
A
me
little
to end
bit.
the recording or?
Uh, yes, sure. That would probably be
I
politically
think.
correct.
Yes, a little bit because of the taxes. I don't know what's going to happen here in Brazil, but it's